Hello everybody, I am the Linkzilla, and welcome back to Jurassic Park the game. Now, before we start off, there are some things that I wanted to actually say in the last episode that I never got the chance to say because, well, everything just sort of snuck up on me, you know? But basically speaking, I'd like to apologize for the first two episodes of this series because I noticed in post that the recording software that I used to capture this game had kind of rescaled the window of the game when it was playing at full screen, but I experimented with it a bit, and as you guys could tell from the third episode, the rescaling has actually worked, and the issue has been fixed. So hopefully now the videos are going to be coming out at full size, so it's not going to be a problem. So hope you guys enjoy the continuation of this series. And with that being said, let's get started. Yeah, that's a face I like to wake up to.
So what did you call those things that were chasing you? Hairy sauruses?
Hairy sauruses?
Herrerasaurus from the Triassic era. Now that we've read them, we can easily classify them as early theropod.
Oh, yeah, early theropod. That's exactly what I've been saying all these years. Right, Oscar?
Where's Danny?
That's exactly what I would say.
Decaf!
Decaf is gone. And for those of you who are wondering, Decaf is his nickname. It's not unheard of for people to have a nickname.
Stay put.
You know, I'm actually wondering, Triassic is a pretty old era. How did InGen get the DNA for the Herrerasauruses?
121, eh? I haven't seen one of these in a while.
Tracks.
Boy, your pilot's a real slob.
Keep your mouth shut.
They really don't like each other.
Don't even think about it.
That's why you don't look.
Danny's, and it's jammed.
He was shooting at something. Blood. And there's his helmet.
Oscar! I don't like what's going on here, man. Decaf's gun's jammed, there's a blood trail over there, and he never leaves his helmet on the ground. Never.
Never.
Decaf is MIA.
MIA? MIA? No way, man. He was supposed to stay with the chopper. He's gotta be around here somewhere.
Oh no.
Billy, you feel that?
We've already lost Bravo team, and...
Billy!
Look, we are not leaving without Decaf. I mean, we agreed, right? Oh man, I will not let you turn this into Nicaragua all over again.
Nicaragua? I think I'd like to know what happened.
We've got a situation here.
Why would Rexy come this far north?
Inside the chopper, now.
I think that ultimately confirms my theory that Rexy tends to follow the humans. And I'm not talking about a storytelling trope. I think that's literally
Oscar,
what she's
I've got
doing.
No power.
I'm on it.
Oh, I hate this. Wanna know why? Because this isn't completely random. I have to go through every single one of these batteries one by one until I can actually, get through it. You have to test each one of them.
Try it now.
And I have to go back to Yoder.
That battery's not responding. Try another one.
She's coming.
Did you see that, Oscar? I don't like when that happens. Pick up the pace.
Alright, now I have to take it out. Put it back on the ground. And be careful not to pick one that you've already selected. Pump it, pump it, pump it up. Pump it, pump it, pump it up.
Try it now.
If you got another battery, try it.
See what I mean? This game. I like it, but sometimes some of the actions can feel a little bit like busy work. Especially when this scene is supposed to be so tense. Oh, I saw her tail.
We gotta get out of here now.
I know. I'm working on it.
Bum, 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 bum. Okay, it's tense. I take back what I said. It's tense.
Try it now.
Get in the chopper, Oscar. Come on. Oh, gracias, adios.
We got power. Here we go.
Oh, no, 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 not one of these. I'm gonna fail. I'm gonna fail. I'm gonna die! Whoa! Whoa.
Get us out of here, Billy.
I'm trying.
That was a close one. I think it's legitimately in her contract that Rexy has to appear in every single episode of this game. Very tense.
You're a good little thief. You know how to open handcuffs?
I guess.
So who's left?
Dr. Sorkin and her assistant. Then we get the hell out of here.
What about Decaf?
Decaf's dead.
And
I like your
there's
tattoos.
tattoos.
Why don't you tell her what your tattoos mean?
What she?
What do they mean? Gravestones are for the people who died beside him. The skulls are for the people who died because of him.
It's a lot.
Tell her, where you gonna put Decaf's tombstone? You running out of room.
What did you say?
You don't want to piss him off.
Come on. It's been a long day and everyone's just a little tense. Let's keep it together, guys.
I'm not afraid of you two.
Me? Yeah, well, I'm more of a lover than a fighter. But Oscar... You know, I've seen Oscar knock out someone's teeth for a lot less. When I say teeth, I mean face.
I mean, seriously,
Not
Shrek is
before.
saying that
You're
Oscar
in the
is a
company
big
of
dude.
Killers. You're no safer than you were in the jungle.
Company of Killers. Oh, that's got a nice ring to it. Yeah, it could be a hit single. Yeah, you're in the Company of Killers. Yeah!
You need further proof that these men are crazy? This is what they do. They hurt people, and then they joke about it.
What does she know?
Speaking of jokes, Oscar, tell her the one about the priest, the stripper, and the bucket of frogs.
Pay attention! This is how men act when they lack the courage to face themselves.
No, I like to look at myself. I mean, check out this gorgeous face. Who wouldn't?
I'm surprised you can see at all with your head stuck up your...
Ooh.
Enough!
Oh, boy.
What are you gonna do, kill me? You did that to me once already.
You're crazy!
What is she talking about?
I'm thinking of getting a butterfly tattoo.
Jess.
I'm gonna carve the names of the people you killed into those skulls of
Try
yours.
it!
How do
Then
you
we'll
know
see
their
how
names?
proud you are
Listen,
of them.
there's still more people who need our help. Whatever your issues are, you can work them out when we get to the mainland. And no, you cannot get a tattoo.
Huh. I guess we're about to meet Dr. Laura Sorkin.
Dr. Harding. Oh, thank goodness you're safe. After we lost contact, I was worried something had happened to you.
We have had quite a day, Dr. Sorkin.
I'll bet. Systems are down all over the damn park. Dinosaurs are running free. Ugh, bring the kids, fun for all. Hey, don't worry, kid. We're fairly geographically cut off from the rest of the island out here. Nothing
That's
but
not
herbivores
possible.
around these parts. What's going on here?
There were some complications.
Who are you?
You know what? I'm just literally going to drop all the pretenses here. I hate this character and everything that she represents, and you guys are going to find out why over the course of the next 3 episodes. Well, not the next 3 episodes of, like, my playthrough series. That's going to be more like, I don't know, 5 episodes left of the series. But basically, this is going to be a very long and tedious portion of the game. Not much dino action. Sorry.
Yeah, we're the band. Where can we set up?
Excuse me?
I'm just kidding. InGen sent us. We're the cavalry come to the rescue. I'm Billy Yoder. And this is...
Look, let's just get this out of the way. I'm not going anywhere. This part of the island is pretty remote and is a long way from the predators. I'm perfectly safe and I don't need saving.
That's not a good idea, man.
But, since you're here, what you can do is start loading the stacks of bureaucratic InGen paperwork that's taking up valuable space. They were supposed
Lady,
to have sent for that stuff months ago.
they are
Listen,
not here for
We don't
that.
have time for this. You either get in the helicopter peacefully, or I will personally knock you out, put you in cuffs, and throw you in!
You lay one hand on me and I will have you so ass-deep in litigation that you'll be reading legal text for a decade.
I say just snap her neck, Oscar.
Yeah, you know what? If it'll help us get off this island faster, we'll move your boxes. Where are they?
Over there at the loading dock.
I think what ultimately irritates me is that for predators,
You heard the lady.
for big
can I
predators that
help?
we're dealing with on this island,
Sorry, hon. This ain't a job for little girls. Look how skinny you are, anyhow. Don't you drink milk?
Oh, I thought you guys were a rescue team, but I guess you're just here for manual labor.
Hey. We're highly trained soldiers for hire here. We're loading this stuff up as a courtesy.
Do they teach you to live with your legs in mercenary school? Or do you bring a dolly with you on rescue missions?
Ah, you're a smart-ass kid, aren't you?
I also like football and hate shopping, but I still can't find a boyfriend.
I kind of like Jess.
Are you serious?
What? I'm taking a break.
Good idea. Don't want you to strain yourself.
So what's the deal? Why didn't you tell Dr. Sorkin why it's so important to get off this island?
Trust me, if we bully that one, she's gonna cause problems.
So what do we do?
Simple. Charm her. Look, all I need to do is get some information on this woman. Dig into her past. Find out what makes her tick. I'm sure if I say enough of the right things, she'll practically think getting off the island was her idea in the first place.
Hey, can I bum one of those?
Jess?
Okay.
This is another thing that I kind of like about the games, because if you couldn't pick up from what Oscar and Billy were just talking about, let's just say that there are going to be a few references to the events of the novel, finally making an appearance in this game. So, anyway.
How the hell does Dr. Sorkin think we're gonna load all this crap into the chopper?
Dunno, but you better do it if you want to get on a good side.
Okay. Well, thanks. You've been a great help.
Dr. Sorkin thinks that she's safe here in the field lab because she's away from all the predators, except with predators this size, as Rexy has indicated, she basically is going to change her territory. She's literally going to move to an area that is pretty much is like rife with prey animals for her to feed on, and she's going to stay there as long as the feeding in the area is good. And we're going to see an example of that, later on in this series. Literally speaking, there's literally no such thing as safe on this island.
Hey, Oscar. Was there any dirt on Dr. Sorkin in the mission briefing? If I'm gonna have to use the old Yoder charm, I'll need some intel.
Big-time protester in the 70s, lots of animal rights crap. Handful of arrests for it. All of her InGen-related history is classified. Said to expect her to be a pain in the ass.
It said that?
Between the lines.
Are you gonna do any work around here? What are we, union now? If you want to tag along with us, that's cool. Just give Oscar his space. He doesn't do very good with kids. Or adults. Or animals. Come to think of it, doesn't do very good with anybody. Just stay out of his way.
Probably should have said that one first.
So, Sorkin.
Hippie type. Got arrested a bunch protesting for animal rights.
Ugh, smells like a barrel of wet dog hair.
I know, right? I don't get why dinosaurs eat that stuff.
So, who feels like carrying these boxes back to the helicopter? Me neither. I'm not moving these things. They look like they weigh a ton.
I think Dr. Sorkin said we're only supposed to move file boxes.
Oh, yeah. Well, good.
Anything else? Nope. Well then, let's go
Wait,
see if we can turn
I'm
it
gonna
on.
go talk to Sorkin.
What should I do?
You want to help? See if you can dig up anything interesting on our friend Dr. Sorkin in those file boxes.
Cool.
Might as well gather some
What's the
information while I
point of
can.
rebuilding? Hammond will kowtow to the major shareholders and cut every corner to recoup their investment as fast as possible, with no regard to the animals' welfare.
Haven't decided. What about our patient?
I'm fine.
I tried to convince her to go with the rescue team, but she refused.
Well, I can't say I blame her, but still, you're lucky you weren't eaten alive.
Hey, you know who our prisoner is? Because no one else seems to.
Well, I've never seen her on the island before. I don't recognize her as someone who works for InGen. But I don't know everyone, so it's possible.
You know, Doc, I saw some bites like that on one of my men back at the visitor center.
Mr.
Call me Billy.
Yoder, would you please tend to the InGen files like we discussed?
Yes, ma'am.
That's literally our first piece of evidence right there.
Hey, Doc, you got a pharmacy inside? It's gonna be a long flight back if we don't get this prisoner either elated or sedated.
She seems harmless enough now, and she's adequately secured. You afraid she's gonna beat you up?
Well, I do have a history of women wanting to get their hands on me. I hate to interrupt, ma'am, but I really think we need to be going.
I'm afraid I can't, Mr. Yoder. Someone needs to tend to the dinosaurs during this disaster.
I'm sorry, Dr. Sorkin, but InGen wants all survivors back on the mainland as soon as possible. No exceptions.
Why can't it wait?
Listen, Hammond really made a mess of this place. You have no idea. There's no hiding his incompetence after this disaster.
Huh. You have a point. If you knew how I spent my youth, you'd be surprised to find me working in a place like this.
Ah.
Someone needs to speak to the board about protecting these dinosaurs. You believe in animal rights, don't you? Wouldn't you put your neck on the line for them?
Well, obviously that's true. If only the board had listened to my proposals. Instead, they just contribute to the paperwork and the file boxes you guys are loading.
This game, it's really trying to force me to go back there.
Is there anything I can say to convince you to come with us?
If there is, you haven't said it yet.
Right.
So how did you know to treat her with a tranquilizer?
Unfortunately, this isn't the first time I've encountered this.
You
The
see?
toxins are derived from the bacteria in its bite, like the Komodo dragon. This dinosaur hunts by biting its victim, then stalking it as it waits for it to die. It's much safer for them than a direct confrontation.
What kind of dinosaur has a bite like that?
Ow.
Oh, I'm sorry. So it still hurts?
She clearly knows about whatever it is.
So, what'd you find out?
Looks like Dr. Sorkin wanted to turn this place into a dinosaur preserve instead of an amusement park.
Which
And
should have
InGen
been
didn't go
fairly
for it, huh?
obvious.
Why would they? There's no money in that.
So Dr. Sorkin has a weakness for preserving wildlife. Good to know.
This is ultimately what I'm kind of afraid of the dinosaur protection group from Jurassic Park World Fallen Kingdom will ultimately end up.
I mean, I knew
Being.
Hammond was no real scientist, but someone should have seen this coming. Would you mind if I
Hammond
took
wasn't a
look at your room?
scientist at
Yeah,
all.
why not?
I've tried talking to her, Dr. Sorkin. It's no use.
Well, she'll need medical treatment when she arrives back on the mainland. If she were bitten by one of our dinosaurs, a doctor there may not be able to treat her properly. She'll have to start talking to someone.
Dr. Sorkin,
As I told you, I'm staying behind to watch after the animals.
I'm sorry, but we really need to get you out of here.
Why?
Wouldn't this place be better off as some kind of dinosaur preserve? I mean, it's kind of stupid to treat these creatures like they're in some kind of circus, right?
You're absolutely right, Mr. Yoder. But none of this matters if the board of directors...
I'm not supposed to say this, but I heard the board is going to hold an emergency meeting about, you know, new leadership. If you were there, you could act as a witness to the events that took place here. They'd have to listen to you.
That's true. I hate to admit it, Mr. Yoder, but perhaps you're right.
And our orders also mention an assistant?
David. Yes. I'm afraid David won't be coming back with us.
And
He-
why is that?
Told him to stay away from the quarantine
Dr.
pens.
Sorkin, I'm
Remember
so sorry.
that.
Thank you.
It's going to be
Now,
important
before we
later.
go, I have some work in the lab that must be completed first. Dr. Harding, perhaps you and your daughter would like to assist me. I've been working on a cure for one of our dinosaurs' nastier genetic disorders.
Oh?
You guys are
Which
gonna
one's
get a kick out of
dietary?
this.
Right up your alley.
Later.
Dr. Harding, we've done it.
And what exactly have we done?
Reverse the lysine contingency, of course.
Wait, what?
That.
InGen, Henry Wu, added a gene to the dinosaurs that makes them dependent on supplements of an amino acid called lysine. Without their weekly doses, they'll all die
You
off.
cannot give that to the dinosaurs. They need to be contained. If any of them get off the island...
Okay, listen. I've been working with the Parasaur's behavioral program for months now. If I go back to the mainland to fight for this place, they'll all be dead before I can get back, along with all of my research.
Parasaurs?
Parasaurolophus. They're herbivores, generally safe.
Let me give the solution to them, to see if it even works.
How many are we talking about?
Why don't you come out with me? See how much progress we've made with them.
Can we, Dad?
Fine. We'll go.
Cool.
This lady, she is meddling with forces beyond her
have you out
ken.
here, Dr. Harding, despite the circumstances. We've been doing some very interesting work with our parasaurs. Behavioral communication experiments.
You've interpreted their calls.
Some of them. And I plan to use that to get them out of the pen.
Out?
Well, I'm not going to treat their water with them still in there.
And why not?
How do we know there aren't any bad dinosaurs around?
Well, believe it or not, the dinosaurs told me. See that one? She's the lookout. She'll stand guard while the others graze. If there were any predators in the vicinity, she'd be nervous and emitting a danger call. But she's not. She's calm. Jerry, you can activate the speakers from there. Jess and I will set the various parasaur sounds that play through them.
Dad, it's okay. I mean, it's safe, right?
The parasaurs will warn us of trouble before it gets close.
Stay with Dr. Sorkin.
So you can really speak dinosaur?
We've been doing behavioral tests using various parasaur calls, playing them through the speakers around the pen. We can't just shoo the animals out, but we should be able to manipulate them into moving using their own sounds.
Cool.
I wonder if
These
this is a
speakers on the
reference
west
to
side
the
of
Lost
pen
World
can be
novel.
set to play a parasaur food call that will attract the hungry dinos. The speakers on the east control the mating sounds that will attract the more amorous dinosaur.
What about the big set of speakers in the middle of the pen?
Ah, those emit the danger call. The parasaurs will instinctively move away from it.
So basically we can herd the dinosaurs out of this pen using the speakers and their sounds.
You don't say. Let me see here.
How do I turn on the speakers?
I'll have to tell your dad to do it when we're ready.
And I bet I can only activate one of these things at a time, right? Really enjoy the sweeping views.
Dr. Harding,
Yeah?
I need you to activate the east side speakers, please.
East side. Okay.
Apparently only one of them was hungry.
So, what happened to your assistant?
Let's not talk about that right now.
Well, did you work with him long?
It doesn't matter.
Yeah, murder
Listen,
doesn't matter,
He
does
was
it?
a wonderful young man. And I am sad. I really am. But if I let that stop my work, then all these animals will die too, trapped behind the walls that we built. You understand?
Huh.
Dr. Harding?
Yeah?
And we have to have that whole thing right every single time, don't we?
West Side speakers, please.
I guess those two are looking for a date.
So I heard you were like a hippie protester or something in the 70s.
Where'd you hear that?
From Yoder.
The 70s were a tumultuous time. I fought for what I believed in, and sometimes it gets you arrested.
You were arrested? And you still got a job as a, scientist?
Paleogeneticist. And yes, youth is the time to be reckless and test your boundaries. It's how you learn what's important to you.
You know, I'm just a little bit curious. How the heck does a animal rights protester end up becoming a paleogeneticist? Especially since up until the events of this game/film franchise, a paleogeneticist wasn't even a thing. And also, how exactly did they get a recorded mating call to attract a pair of female Parasaurolophuses when, quite frankly, they don't have any recordings of a male mating cry? Because that's realistically what they would need to have.
Dr. Harding?
Yeah?
Activate the danger speakers.
That's it. They're out.
Good job, Jess.
Finally. Go forth and multiply.
You're pretty good at this. Maybe you'll be a behavioral scientist someday.
Maybe I will.
What do you mean she's good at this? She literally didn't do anything.
Aww.
Ah, this is why she was elected to be the lookout. What's wrong with her foot?
It's a broken toe. Feel free to have a look. I just have to do one more thing, and then we can leave.
The lysine.
If the dinosaurs are to have a fighting chance, they'll need this solution to survive.
I'm still not sure.
And how do you
Jerry,
expect them to go
this is my
back
life's
into the
work.
pen?
These are basically my children. I'm not going to let these creatures die because some bureaucrat can't stand losing control.
Seriously,
they deserve
Jerry.
their own lives.
This is a question that you should be asking, Jerry. How does she expect them to go back to the pen?
Dr. Sorkin?
That's a
Laura.
water tower.
Laura, what's lysine?
InGen, Henry Wu, added a gene to the dinosaurs that makes them dependent on supplements of an amino acid called lysine. Without their weekly doses, they'll all die off.
Haven't we had this conversation
Don't
before?
tell my dad, but I got a D in chemistry.
I got a C, so...
And today should be very educational. The solution we were creating at the lab will reverse this scenario, allowing the animals to live out their natural lifespan. We just need to get it into the main water supply.
Main
That should be easy,
water
right?
This is a big
supply.
responsibility, Jess.
I can handle it, Dr. Sorkin. I mean Laura.
She's handing it off to
Okay,
Jess.
Jess, let's get started.
Plausible
I'm telling you,
deniability?
man, almost made me swear off Chinese food forever.
Yeah, right. I've never seen you refuse an egg roll.
Dang it, now I want an egg
said
roll.
almost. Besides, my date was hot. You remember the girl with the blonde hair, red scarf? What was her name?
I don't keep track.
Oh, you remember her? She was the one that was wearing the.
Chopper's taking
Remember
off.
that?
Nima!
Go, go, go!
Finally, some excitement. Come on, Oscar.
Oscar! Land the chopper right now! No! Do it, or I swear I'll take you down right now!
Billy!
You should be hitting her on the back of the head with your AK and knocking her out. Dang it! Come on, Oscar.
Come on, man, that's it! Come on! One more!
Oh no.
Billy!
I love this line.
Tell that woman she's dead when I get in there.
Come on, Oscar, put those giant friggin' arms to work. Get in
Amen.
there.
But I love that line. You tell that woman she's dead when I get in there. Put those giant friggin' arms to work. Come on. Right, let's do this.
No, you're one stubborn son of a... Hey!
Take the controls, Billy. Whoa,
What the hell?
No problem. You got this. Yeah, you totally got this.
that's a knife.
Stand this thing now!
Not gonna happen.
Dang it. Look out.
We good?
No. Not so good.
Dang it, Billy. Why couldn't you have blocked that with your body?
Is the water ready?
Yep, lysine is now officially a part of this nutritionally balanced dino breakfast.
Excellent. Now I just need to get this water into the main supply and we'll be done.
Jerry, how are you not hearing any of this?
That's it, Jess. We did it. Jess, come up here. I want you to see this. This is how nature intended these animals to exist.
Let's have a little
Wow.
discussion about
All the running
nature,
away I've been
shall we?
doing, I haven't had time to really appreciate them.
Nature is cruel, indifferent, and sometimes brutal, and especially
Oh, take it easy.
What's wrong with that one?
terrifying.
Oh no.
Where did these come from?
Jerry, run! Jerry!
Raptors. Three of them.
Behind you!
Move, Harding! Raptors wouldn't be running like that. They'd have their heads low. Dang it! Running! Over the fence! Or through it! Keep going, Jerry! Why isn't that fence electrified?
Hurry, Jerry! Go left!
Your left or mine?
Hurry!
Oh my god, Dad, that was awesome! How'd you do that?
Guess the old man still has a few good moves, huh?
You are lucky to be alive, Jerry. I've never seen anyone outrun a velociraptor before.
Where did they come from? What are they doing out here?
Must have escaped from the quarantine pen somehow.
Raptors
Quarantine
are highly
pens.
intelligent. They'll find a way up here if we give them enough time.
Yes! It's Yoder!
Here! We're down here!
Here! Down here!
Uh-oh. Get down! Oh my. Well, that seemed like a pretty exciting place to leave off on. Hope that you guys enjoyed that episode. Sorry it was a little bit short, but let's see what we can see in Dr. Sorkin's journals. I actually kind of like that episode because like it sort of like begins to set up things that are coming later on, and it has a few surprises for us. So let's see what we can see. That's where we left off, so... Compsognathus, pretty jaw. I have to admit that of all the dinosaurs we have managed to clone so far, Compsognathus holds a special place in my heart. Oh, isn't that cute? The venomous little scavengers are her favorite. Yeah, they basically like to prey upon the weak and slowly pick them apart while their prey doesn't have any ability to fight back. I can see the appeal. And plus, they're little shit-eaters like you. I imagine it's because they remind me of the chickens we had on the farm when I was growing up. She grew up on a farm, and yet she became an animal rights activist. In fact, their genetic structure is so similar to birds that I'm surprised that they don't have feathers. Yeah, well, it's called the null allele. It's a thing, and get over it. Then again, thanks to all the shortcuts we've been forced to make, I can't say for sure that they don't. Okay, compies were from the Triassic period. I can almost guarantee that they hadn't evolved feathers yet. Literally speaking, feathers were actually a fairly recent development in the dinosaur world. Alright, Herrera's lizard. I would have loved to have seen Don Victorino Herrera's face when he first discovered the bones of Herrerasaurus. And now one of the oldest dinosaur species discovered is reborn and walking on our facilities. Yeah, they're from the Triassic period. How the hell did genetic material manage to survive that long? Especially since, like, I may be wrong about this, but I'm pretty sure that insects didn't evolve until somewhere around the Jurassic period, so... When we were engineering the Herrerasauruses, I didn't know that they were meant to be a safe alternative to the Velociraptor exhibit. Though not nearly as smart as the raptors, their chase instinct makes them almost as dangerous. So, basically these things are pretty much programmed to run. And you remember that line from like this episode where they basically point out that these are classified as early theropod? That's basically because like it was speculated from their posture that they would pretty much walk on like all fours because they're bent so low, but now that they're standing upright like this, well, seems obvious. The quarantine pens. I am getting so sick of Hammond. Like, Hammond is such a total loser, and with his Scottish accent and his love for his grandchildren. I can't believe he ordered another group of raptors to this island from Site B after what happened last time. Yeah, I like how this game keeps dropping references to other parts of the franchise, and that ultimately explains where the raptors came from. And the last time that she's mentioning, I'm sure, is referring to the Big One incident. But I'll explain that, like, later. That man will never learn to respect what we have created and stop trying to create a spectacle. At least they use the southern quarantine pens. This part is important. Be sure to pay attention. If they tried to take them to the ones near the docks, they'd have found the brood that I've been raising there. Direct orders or not, euthanizing an entire species just because they're unprofitable is not acceptable. Keep that in mind. It's one of the reasons why I really don't like Dr. Sorkin in this game. She's talking about quarantine pens that she's keeping near the docks, and apparently whatever animals she's keeping in them were ordered to be euthanized, and she refused to do it. Also keep in mind that her assistant, David, something happened to him. He got killed because he got too close to the quarantine pens. Criminal negligence, I would say. Parasaurolophus, near-crested lizard. I am extremely pleased with the progress David and I have been making with the parasaur or behavioral experiments. Our hypothesis that cranial crest was used for amplified sound communication has been brilliantly confirmed. Well, Good for you. Pat yourself on the back. Aren't you proud of yourself? Fictionalized character who is basically confirming discoveries that had already been made before this game was even made. But the coloring being used to identify various social cliques was something I was not fully expecting. Well, how could you? You can't really discern color from bone. I have been able to isolate their mating, feeding, and warning calls, and I am excited to see how they respond to recordings of their own sounds. David has converted the area around the water tower to a holding pen and has rigged up an intricate speaker system for projecting their calls. This is science. This is the kind that can't be rushed with a checkbook. And I'm pretty sure that that's the end of as far as we can go for this one. Yep. I can't go any farther because we're still in Chapter 2. Anyway, I mentioned how in the video I felt like the Parasaurolophus mating calls were a reference to the Lost World novel. That's because, during the events of that novel, paleontologist Richard Levine is observing the Parasaurolophus in the field. He's in the high hide when he decides to get the brilliant idea to mimic one of their calls that they're making, and they begin moving towards the high hide, and he's basically freaking out. It's like, oh no, I changed the environment. I wasn't supposed to do that. Oh, dang it. What if I accidentally mimicked a mating call? I don't want a randy dinosaur coming towards me. As it turns out, it was, entirely coincidental, because the dinosaurs were actually, preparing to move anyway, because, to make a long and kind of pointless subplot short, they were basically preparing to go to the bathroom. Anyways, that is all the time that we have for this video. I really hope that you guys enjoyed it, and when we return to Jurassic Park the game, we will be going into the depths. And raptors are going to be our main antagonists this time. Anyways, thank you all so much for watching. If you liked this video, please leave a comment down in the comment section below, and be sure to like, share it with all your friends. And if you want to keep up to date on more Jurassic Park the game coming your way in the future, then just smash that subscribe button like a crashing helicopter, and ring that little bell to become part of the notification squad. And as always, I will catch you guys in the next video. Later!